Hello and welcome to another edition of Seekers of the Supernatural. I'm your moderator, Tony Spera. I'm sitting here waiting for Daisy to show up. That's the 33 Chevy Sedan that restorer Roger Ferris is bringing back to me. After doing some work on it, needed a new gas tank, fuel pump, a lot of little things needed to be done to make it run right, carburetor rebuild. And you can see I'm wearing my Route 66 shirt. See if you can see it better. A Route 66 shirt for the occasion. And I'm hoping to see him very soon pull in the driveway with it. And when he does, after that, I'm going to make a video of the car, the mechanicals, and what the inside looks like. It's very rudimentary compared to today's cars, but the whole car is made in the United States of America, the entire car. And the sheet metal is really thick. Every part is like heavy duty on it, They don't make them like that anymore. Sure, the cars run better and everything, but they don't last as long. This car is 1933. So what's that? 33, 43, 87 years old. 87 years old, that car. Wait till you see it, guys. It'll blow your mind how it looks now. And at some point I'll show you a picture of how it looked before restoration too. But until then, we'll wait for Roger and I'll be back. Thanks.
Do you think you'll have it registered by the end of the month?
I don't know. Maybe. Why?
Well, do you want me to come back beginning of next month and take it for a ride?
Hold on a second. So Raj, what did you have to do in this last time I brought it to you? What did you need to do? A new gas tank? What else did you do?
I put a stainless steel gas tank in it. Wanted to put a new fuel pump in it. Mechanical called the place that I had purchased the last one. They said they're not making them anymore, so I had to put a electric fuel pump in it.
It runs good now. In the carburetor you did over?
Carburetor, bought a different carburetor, a better carburetor for this year, and had, rebuilt it. Water pump needed to be, stop the leaking in the shaft. Points, plugs, condenser, rotor.
Flush the radiator and all that stuff?
The radiator was good.
It was?
Yeah, the radiator was good. A lot of work on the starting system with the gas pedal and
With the electrolock thing and all that?
yeah, we had to change the switch and the coil because originally it was a one-unit deal, which the ignition switch came in through the firewall with a grommet, but all that had to be changed.
Right.
So now we have just a key switch. It works as normal.
Let me walk around the other side and just get inside. I want to look at the dash with you. Okay, Raj. So starting this thing up, it's an old, lot different than the new cars. You got the gas gauge. You got a speedometer, and oil and water, oil and amps, right?
Yeah, your
And
oil
oil's
pressure's
over here.
here.
What should the oil pressure be at? About 20?
No, it's recommended 15 at 30 miles an hour, 15 pounds at 30 miles an hour, which it runs there.
Why don't you start her up, Raj? See how she sounds. Sounds healthy. It starts right up. Remember before how it used to go? It moaned when it priced. Was that because you put an 8-volt battery in, or is it because it started?
It was a 8-volt. The starter was okay. The generator needed to be rebuilt. That was just
that's right.
pretty bad inside. But it's a whole combination of the tune-up and timing and the 8-volt battery.
So now, when you were driving here from Bethel, how fast were you normally going? 40, 35?
No.
30.
I didn't go over 30, and I came Hattertown, so I was like 25 miles an hour. But I'd be curious to have someone follow me to see how accurate the speedometer is. At 30 miles an hour, it seems pretty fast in this
does?
Yeah.
You know,
So-
it rides like a buggy, right? It rides like a buggy.
and it's not unusual to think you're going a lot faster.
So
than
Rod,
it is.
you restore old cars like this, right? And how long does it take you to restore like a car like this one? Wasn't like this one like 3 years?
Yeah, and they've been averaging that, but I work by myself, so
And what's the name of the company again?
Ferris Automotive Restoration.
Ferris Automotive Restoration, and that's in Bethel, Connecticut, right? And you've been
Yep.
doing this for how many years, Raj?
I've been in business for 35 years. My father got me started working on old cars when 8, 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
So
You're like one of the
60,
only guys.
so-
How old are you? 60?
60, so 50 years of my life.
You're like one of the only guys around here that does it. And then, because you were recommended to me by somebody, and they said take it to Roger because Roger knows what he's doing. So remember when Lorraine and me went there, and we looked at the car for the first time, and I was a little like arrogant. I'm like, well, let's see if he knows what he's doing. And I was like looking all over what you had disassembled, and the chrome pieces and everything, and how you had them stored, and the way you took the car apart. And I looked at Lorraine and I said, yeah, he knows what he's doing. I mean, that was kind of arrogant for me to think that you didn't, but you did a great job, man. I'll tell you right now.
No, yeah, I encourage my customers to be hands-on by, regular trips in to see what's going on.
What I think I might do a maintenance. I'll talk to you about that off camera, but like a maintenance thing where you can come out and, make sure it's running good, and because if you leave them sitting, it's bad, huh?
Leave them sitting, it deteriorates real quick, and just starting them up and letting them idle for
It's not enough
a couple of minutes does more damage than starting it and taking it for a ride.
because of what, condensation and stuff.
It doesn't give the oil in the crankcase a chance to heat up, which creates
Right.
condensation, which you go to change the oil and it's all milky and it's not good. This is a Babbitt bearing crankshaft and
Doesn't have regular like rod
connecting
bearings
rods.
like a small black Chevy would have or anything like that.
No, and the only problem with that is if something goes wrong because of condensation and contamination in the oil, you have to take the whole engine apart and they have to be re-poured and machined. It's not like a modern engine where you can put new insert bearings in and you're okay, but with this, it's a major ordeal, and I'm not sure how many people are left that do that.
And you use special oil in this car, right, with zinc and stuff, so the tappets and everything would be better.
Yeah, there's a recommended, they call it a racing oil, but it's recommended for flat tappets and high zinc content, which you can't get in any other
Now,
oil.
is this entire car made in USA when it was made?
Yes,
The whole thing, right?
the whole car.
Unbelievable. It's solid as a rock, huh?
The tires may have been made in the United States, but the rubber trees are in South America.
Well, Raj, I appreciate this. You did great work, and I'm going to have you coming back for more. And I may even have you do a little work on my Chevy Coupe when it's time to get it painted.
Thank you,
I
Tony.
know what kind of paint you can do. The paint is unbelievably good on this. Well, Raj, just thanks a lot. And I'm gonna,
Let's mention that I finished this car in 2004.
is it 2004?
Yeah, I looked at the invoice,
2004,
and it's now 2020, so.
and it still looks like new. The
Yeah.
paint job looks like new. I mean, really. And I didn't do anything. I didn't even wax it or anything.
I know
nothing
you
to-
didn't.
I do. I know. Thanks a lot, Raj. Okay,
You're
so I'm
welcome.
going to let you go now, Raj, and appreciate it. And for all the YouTubers out there, remember that if you need a car restored in Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, anywhere, come here to Bethel, Connecticut. Get it restored by Roger Ferris. He knows what he's doing. He did a top A1 job. This is a show quality car. All right, until next time, this is Tony.
Let's see. I don't know if it started.
Huh?
I hit the red button.
Yeah, let's see.
There's nothing.
Yeah, it's going.
Oh, it's up there. Okay.
Okay, guys, we're off. Let's see how she drives. Drives like a buggy. Yeah, she drove this all the way from Bethel. You can take a picture of the inside too if you want, honey. I'm gonna take a picture of you.
Are you terrified?
Huh?
No, don't be better.
Yeah, it doesn't, the horn doesn't work.
The nurse is not coming. Look, he's funny.
There's the gauges. See the gauges on it, honey?
Beautiful.
Here we go, the back. Going in the backyard.
Take any fenders off.
No. I know, that's what I worry about. It doesn't ride that bad. It's like a horse and buggy, you know?
Never drove one of those. Even let me out. Let me out here.
Hold on. Okay, you can stop. Okay, guys, this is the car. This is the 33 Chevy Master Eagle Sedan that Ed and Lorraine used on a lot of their cases. I'll give you the quick background of the car. 1933 Chevy, 12-volt, 6-cylinder engine, putting out between 62 and 69 horsepower. And if you look over here, you'll see the interior, the gauge group, the gauge cluster. That's the emergency brake there. 3-speed manual transmission. It's got fully mechanical brakes. And look in the back, there's a luggage rack. I haven't run it so you can hear the engine. It's got a luggage rack where you can put a box rack on the back, like an optional feature to it. Black fenders, wire spoke wheels, 17-inch wheels. And it's about 107-inch wheelbase. Here we go. If I get in and rev it up a little. You see the oil pressure at about 15. I'm going to shut it off now so I can talk a little bit better. Okay, just shut her off. And give you some background. Ed bought this in about 52 to 55. I can't remember exactly. And he bought it for $15. $15, ladies and gentlemen, for this car. And he told me, he said, hey, you know, I had to pay this off on time. And I said, what are you talking about, pay it off on time? What do you mean? He said, yeah, $5 a month. Because I didn't have the money back then to pay for it all at once. He said, but the guy was good to me. He gave me 2 extra wheels, extra door, extra transmission. Ed took this vehicle and Lorraine all the way to Florida on a vacation. I said, Ed, how fast did you go down? 30 miles an hour. But the big part about this car was Henniker, New Hampshire. When he and Lorraine went to the Henniker, to the Ocean-Born Mary House, the first place that Lorraine ever had an out-of-the-body experience. She was with Ed, of course, who was driving the car. In the back seat were Jerry and his girlfriend. Jerry was a friend of Ed. They were in their 20s and were on their way to Henniker. I shouldn't say that. I should say they're on their way up to sell some of Ed's paintings that he used to make on barnwood. He would take these. Let me just show you something really quick. It's still hanging there. Barn Door Studio. That's what the museum was. The museum was the Barn Door Studio. Look, now it's the Paranormalology Research Center, Warren's Occult Museum. But back then, it was an art studio that did all his paintings, acrylic on wood and acrylic on porcelain plates. But he used to get these old pieces of barn wood and do the scenes of haunted houses, New England scenes, covered bridges, and he would drive up to vacation areas in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont to sell paintings. And he would get out of his car, put up his easel and a chair in the back of his car, and he'd have a sign, paintings for sale. And I asked Ed, I said, well, how'd you do? What'd you do? Make a lot of money? Or any money? He said, well, I made a lot of dough. And I said, Ed, what kind of money did you make? He said, I made an exorbitant amount of money. You wouldn't believe it. I said, well, tell me, Ed, what kind of money did you make? He said, I used to make $5, $6. He's on a good day, $5 a painting. I started to laugh. Ed said, well, what are you laughing about? I said, $5? That's not a lot of money. He said, look, back then in the early 50s, if I sold 5 paintings, I'd have $25, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, a log cabin to stay overnight up in Vermont cost $1 a night. Gas was 18 cents per gallon. He says, Lorraine and I used to buy a hot dog 10 cents a piece. So if I had $25, I was bucks up. And in that house, what happened was he was rounding a corner and a sign said Henniker, New Hampshire. And Ed looked back at Jerry and to the group and said, Henniker, I read about a haunted house in Henniker. Because Ed was always reading Fate magazine and such. And Jerry in the back seat kind of scoffed and said, Ed, come on, there must be 100 Hennikers around. And as Ed rounded the corner, and the sign is still there today, the sign said, this is the only Henniker on earth. And so as Ed put it, because he's an old Navy man, he said, that settled his hash. So Jerry shut up. And then when they pulled in front of the Ocean-born Mary house, Ed, of course, sent Lorraine up because Lorraine was the charmer. And she went up and talked to the caretaker, Mr. Roy, who let them all in. There was no electricity in the house, no heat. But Ed got there and started to talk about the haunting, the Ocean-born Mary haunting, which you could read about. It was about a pirate attack out in the ocean, where these pirates came on and overtook the ship. And one of the women there who was pregnant, the Maine pirate said, I'll spare everyone on this ship, excuse me, if you name your firstborn, if it's a woman, Mary, if it's a girl. And that's what happened. She named her Mary. And Mary grew up in that house in Henniker, New Hampshire. And it said that the house is haunted by Mary's spirit. You can read more about it. So this is the 33 Chevy. There's the back seat. That is Lorraine's throw. Again, the inside of the car. Isn't it a beauty? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The 33 Chevy Daisy. For you guys out there, that's a W1 Carter, 1-barrel carburetor. And all new plugs and points and condenser and everything. The fuel pump is not working because something went wrong with it. So Roger, the restorer that you met, put in a Carter electric fuel pump, 6-volt. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so for now, I'm going to sign off. And once again, thank you. I'm Tony Spera, your moderator. Good night, good night.